Falcon and the Winter Soldier is starting soon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, we haven't seen any episode yet, and Next Level is probably going to be going crazy stupid on why I don't want to talk about it once he starts to watch it, because I don't like to watch certain specific shows, especially when it has to do with Marvel stuff, until the season ends. So I actually timed WandaVision. I started watching it 3 days before the last episode, and then the night before the last episode, I had one more episode to watch, episode 8, and then episode 9 came out that night. So that Friday, I watched the last 2 episodes, and I was like, dude, this is freaking nuts. So I'm pretty sure Next Level is not going to be too happy with me when he starts to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he can't talk about it because I haven't watched anything, and I'm not going to watch anything until the season ends. Sorry. But let's talk about some hypotheticals. So we know for a flat fact that Captain America is now an old man, and he handed over the shield to Falcon. Now, comic books, he gives it to the Winter Soldier. He gives it to Bucky. Disney is doing this thing where they're passing it over to Falcon because they're trying to do something a little bit different. And I'm okay with it. I am actually okay with how they're doing it. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Falcon ever really did wield the shield. I don't know if he did in the comic books. I don't think he ever did. So I think they're doing something new, which again, I'm cool with it as long as they do this right. The way they're doing it with the two characters, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think makes sense. I haven't. So I know Next Level's going to hate me on this one. I haven't really seen too many previews or sneak peeks on the show. Have you, Next Level?
No, I was never really interested too much in those characters without their supporting. Like to me, they were more supporting other bigger characters.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna watch it, but I'm not as interested in it. And I know people are probably gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm not as interested in it as I was for WandaVision, because those are A-role actors. They're not necessarily supporting actors, and I think Bucky has a great story. I don't know enough about Falcon to really be interested yet. So, and I think because of that, I wasn't really searching into previews or trailers or anything like that. I kind of just want to take it in as it gives it to me when the show starts.
Cool. So you're doing the exact thing that I like to do on every single Marvel movie, every single Star Wars, like the TV shows so far from Marvel. This is exact your approach right now of what you're doing is how I'm doing it and how I've been doing it with things that I'm very, very interested with. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want nothing to spoil it. So this is actually a great conversation then. Based on the last things that you've seen with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, knowing their stories, what do you think is going to happen with the show? Like, do you think they're going to relive something? Do you think they're going to bring back a villain?
So I kind of want to address what you started saying when you said in the comics, Bucky has the shield, right? And in what's happening right now, Falcon has it. And I think that it actually makes sense that Falcon has it versus Bucky, because Bucky has a name to, I guess, wash or fix, right? Bucky's been known to be manipulated and to be used as a hitman, and he's worked for Hydra. He's worked for a lot of different evil organizations, right? And Falcon's known to have more of an upstanding role in society. I don't know what's going on with your hair there, Astro Boy, but but I think that it's a good transition. So even if the shield eventually goes to Bucky, I think Bucky has to earn the shield, kind of like how Thor had to earn Malnir, Malnir,
Oprah.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
But I think maybe that's the whole storyline. Maybe it's Bucky going through the transitions, trying to become worthy of taking the mantle from Captain America, and maybe it's Falcon kind of guiding him through that role.
I think it's gonna be exactly what you're saying. I think Falcon is gonna struggle because he's like, one of the things he last said, he was just like, uh, uh, Captain America says, "How does it feel?" And he's like it's not mine. And he's letting him know, like, dude, this isn't me. Like, I'm the Falcon. I'm not Captain America. And I think what's going to happen is, because Cap is now, quote unquote, retired for the time being, I think what's going to happen is the Winter Soldier is kind of going to mentor him a little bit. And while at the same time, Falcon is doing exactly what you're saying, kind of clean his name up a little bit.
Right.
And I think it's going to be very, what's that movie with Keanu Reeves?
John Wick.
John Wick. I think it's going to be like a John Wick style. Not that everybody's hunting them, but that it's very raw and very like city, and they're or like how he's traveling everywhere and they're like going after them and trying to. I think it's going to be very similar like that. They're not going to be, like you said, he's kind of like the hitman. Falcon's not. Falcon's like the good old boy.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to be attacking them like if they're wanted number one, and it's going to, I don't know if it's going to be Hydra. I don't know who specifically it's going to be, but I have a feeling, I just have this weird gut feeling that they're going to bring back the only one person that makes sense to me right now. And again, I haven't seen trailers or nothing. So if I hit this right on the freaking head, I just pay attention to this stuff big time. Remember the bad guy from Captain America and the Winter Soldier?
Red Skull?
No. There was a guy. Was it Civil War?
Yeah.
It was Civil War. Not the Winter Soldier. It was Civil War. Captain America, Civil War, and at the end,
Alexander Pierce?
Yeah, I think that was the main bad guy, right? He had like no powers, but he was kind of like orchestrating everything.
Right.
And they were getting the Winter Soldiers up, and Iron Man and Cap were just fighting, and then they arrested him. I have a feeling, because with WandaVision, what I noticed was they got the Asian guy, the police guy from Ant-Man to come in, and then they got the girl from Thor, the doctor, to come in. And then they got Rambeau, which was from Captain Marvel, to come in. And they're now pushing these roles, which I think is freaking genius. I'm very glad they're not forgetting the little people, those very small roles in those movies. I'm glad that they're bringing them into the TV shows. I have a feeling, because this guy, he had a very small role. They did show him like, a little bit here and there, and then his plot was actually much bigger. It would be awesome to have him come back in. Somehow he escapes from jail or whatever, and to trigger something back from the Winter Soldier. I think they took everything out of his brain or his arm or whatever it was that triggered him. But I think it would be really cool if they brought him back in and started like make him the villain. Just make him the villain. And I think it would tie in so cool. Now, the other thing is, I don't know who else they would bring in when it comes to other characters from different shows and stuff.
Right.
I hope they do look into what's it called? Peggy Carter, her daughter.
Right.
She had a daughter. I hope they bring her into this too, because she had a lot of conversations with Captain America, and she's she's much younger. So I hope they look into some of those Captain America movies, and because Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they mainly appeared with Captain America with his movies. So bring some of those smaller roles into this TV show, and I think we're gonna have something really special. I think.
I would like to see. Okay, so that's kind of Bucky's journey that he has to go through, right? But I think the biggest thing that Falcon's going to have to deal with is going to be himself, because he's going to say things like, I'm not a leader, I'm not Captain America. And then there's going to be things, including himself, that challenges him wielding the shield. And he's going to be the biggest issue for that. And he's going to fight with that battle for the rest of his life as long as he holds that shield, right? But we have 7 seasons of shield, 7 seasons of bad guys who have run through that franchise. I would like to see some of them reappear.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of makes sense.
Dude, I kind of got chills just you saying that, because I watched every single episode.
Me too.
And there's some bad guys in there that deserve a bigger platform.
Or just coming back.
Yeah. Don't bring Agent Coulson.
Yeah, he's leave him on Tahiti.
Yeah, don't bring Agent May. Don't bring
bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys. Bring in some of the bad guys. You know, if you want to bring in anybody from the Shield, bring in Quake.
Quake is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, bring in Quake and bring in I forget Peggy Carter's daughter, but bring her in. Bring the bad guy that was controlling the Winter Soldier, and bring in like another villain from that TV show to come in to help orchestrate this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Because now you don't have to address freaking Coulson coming back to life like 10 times. You know, you don't have to address anything like that. All you have to do is connect the dots.
That's it.
That's it. Just bring even if it's not Quake. If you want to bring in somebody like oh my gosh, there's so many bad guys in Shield.
Quake's mom, she deserves a pretty big role too. Like,
if they could bring somebody in, damn man, just bring in one bad guy. Just one. Bring in one bad guy from there. Yeah, for this season, bring one bad guy, drop him in. And yeah, and then they could just start connecting so many stories together without addressing anything at all whatsoever. It's kind of like WandaVision that you see Petro. You know, and then, you know, people are thinking like, oh, like freaking multiverse. And because we know this is going to connect to the multiverse of madness, it's you could definitely tell they were talking about the Sorcerer Supreme and she's stronger. And then one of her sons was dressed up like freaking Doctor Strange. There's so many things that was addressed in that. I kind of hope. Oh man, I don't know if I'm putting my foot in my mouth on this one. I hope they don't use Quicksilver from X-Men, how they use them in WandaVision, Petro. I hope they don't use him as Quicksilver at all. I hope they don't. I don't know. I hope they don't use it like, oh, he was the same X-Men from the other, you know, from some other multiverse. I hope they don't do that. I hope they maybe make him into a Quicksilver to say, hey, he actually got the gene now or something. And just never address those other movies, never address anything over there. Just let people connect their own dots in their own head. Make people make up their own stories in their own head. Just don't address it. He's there. Go for it.
You know who I want? I want an origin story of the Red Hulk.
But see, you could do that with SheHulk. With SheHulk, do that with SheHulk. Do the whole thing where she's a lawyer and she does all that stuff. Dude, you know what would be badass? Not only bringing Red Hulk into SheHulk, though. I want to say Netflix, their clauses with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I think all of that stuff is about to end. Because there's a... Yeah, I think so. I think Daredevil was the first one that pulled its plug. And then I think it was Oh my
Jessica
gosh.
Jones.
No, Jessica Jones was the last one.
Oh, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist,
Yeah,
and then Luke Cage,
yeah,
and then
and then
Jessica
Jessica
Jones.
Jones. Yeah.
Now, the Defenders, that was done before, but the thing is that you can't use any of those characters because you have to wait till the cooldown period. So they can't just say Defenders 2, Heroes for Hire. They can't do none of that. But I want to say Daredevil is just about done with this stuff. How crazy would it be? Because She-Hulk is a lawyer, Daredevil is a lawyer, and they bring him into She-Hulk, and then somehow they bring in the Hulk. They should, and Red Hulk. Dude, think about this. They can now connect the dots without addressing a single damn thing. Just drop in Daredevil, drop in that actor in there with She-Hulk. Oh man, you know how good that could be? And don't address.
Don't get too excited. This won't come out until 2023.
I know. So don't get your panties in a bunch. But dude, 2023, are you kidding me?
I'm just throwing a number out there.
When does She-Hulk come out? Now I'm kind of curious. When does She-Hulk come out?
I'll check 1 second.
So this will be interesting. I want to say Daredevil's clause is about
next year.
Next year? Okay, Daredevil should be home free by then. And I want to say Iron Fist is pretty close behind that. I want to say it's like 5 years from whenever the last episode was. But Iron Fist is very close after that. And they left us with a cliffhanger on Iron Fist with Luke Cage and the Shaolin and all that stuff. They left us, dude. What is that movie? Marvel's doing a movie with the Asians. They're doing a whole Asian culture with the 10 rings. I forget what the movie's called. It's coming out in a few years.
But I just Googled Daredevil, and there's an article from January 11th that says Marvel boss says never say never to Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage coming to Disney Plus.
See, I'm telling you, they're probably going to bring the TV shows into Disney Plus, but those characters, their clause on Netflix, I think ends pretty damn soon. And if it does, dude, those characters are free. They could now bring the exact same actors and everything into this universe, connect the dots, and call it a freaking day, dude. I think it would be awesome. But remember, Luke Cage and Iron Fist had a thing at the very end of, I think it was Iron Fist's show, and it was talking about the Shaolin and Kung Lung and all that stuff. Yeah. But there is a movie. Look this one up, I guess, real quick. I don't want to look it up because I don't want to see something I don't want to see. Okay. There is a movie with the Asian community, and I don't know if it's Chinese. I forget which character it is, but it's called something and the 10 Rings, and it has to do with Shaolin, I think, and Kung Lung and all that crap. Shang-Chi, yeah, dude. They could bring an Iron Fist in that.
Well, Iron Fist is supposed to be involved in that, though. In the comics, he is, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. With all these clauses finally being released, like free range, they could bring Iron Fist and that character into this movie. She-Hulk, they could bring in Daredevil into that movie. Dude, with Jessica Jones, because she's a private eye, they could bring her into season 2 of She-Hulk. They could bring, or they could just say, hey, you know what? Let's just do Heroes for Hire as soon as all of them are done. Like, they could do so much with this freaking thing, and I'm just like stoked on it because I don't know. Some of these shows are really, really good. So yeah, we'll have to make a whole separate episode on just this stuff because it's a good convo, and I think it's already been 20 minutes since we started with the whole Disney Marvel stuff. So
Beyond the Streams presents Marble. Oh my god,
Marble
slab,
marbles. There you go.
Beyond the Streams has lost their marbles.
Oh man, so we hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know we kind of went on a crazy long tangent, and we could go, man, on the MCU. It could be a whole hour and a half on just that, on just what could be, can be, So, and we're gonna have to bring in my cousin Junior, and we'll see if we could bring if any of the other guys from I Just Watched available to come in because I know they'll have a good time geeking out with us on that.
For sure.